Oh, what is going on, everybody?
Oh.
It is Pixel Partners here, and welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. It is time for the final escapades.
The final
two. Episode 7, episode 8. So first we have
Sherlock!
On Briar Road. A chilling escapade about a shilling's escape from the clutches of Rolly and Pat Beat, or whatever.
That's right, that's their name now.
Who'd only just found it on the street. Gina the pickpocket is the obvious suspect, but Ryunosuke, Holmes, and Iris happen to be passing, and the plot quickly thickens.
The plot thickens! I knew you were going to do that.
I can't resist, man. Snowman! Hi.
Do you want to build a snowman? Aww. Forgot she does that.
Sir, Constable Rolly be reporting for duty. Thanks to the good offices of Lord Van Zeeks, I'm back at my beat here in the capital doing my best for the good citizens of London. Sir!
Oh, my Rolly back in his Bobby's uniform. You couldn't look any more handsome if you tried.
Oh, my love, you say the sweetest things. Oh, Pat.
Oh, Rolly.
To us, Lord Van Zeeks isn't the Reaper of the Bailey at all.
Oh, no, of course not. He's the patron saint of Bobbies. I almost said hobbies.
A patron saint? Oh, yes, Pat, you're so right, my darling. Keep us in the pocket, he is. On my first day back to job, what did I find in the gutter? A shilling, my love. A whole shilling.
Oh, Rolly, I always believed in you. I always knew one day you'd find some big, small change.
With just that shilling, I could buy you a chip bunch containing a single flower, my sugar.
A single flower? Oh, how romantic.
But
He's doing the
I'm
fingers.
so sorry, Pat. Only moments ago, that shilling disappeared.
Disappeared? But how, my love? How?
I think maybe. No, I'm sure. It was this girl right here. You swiped my previous shilling, didn't you? You cheeky little diver.
What? Blimey. You took your time getting round to me, didn't you? Thought that lovey-dovey stuff wasn't never gonna end. So, a shilling, you say? Lifted from you, where it? Don't know nothing about it. Where's the evidence, eh?
You're literally twiddling your fingers right now. Right there. The evidence is dancing around on the back of your hand, young lady. You stole it from me. You lifted it from my pocket just now. You've got some nerve stealing from a Bobby.
Gobblers, this coin's mine. How could you know anyway? How could you know if it was taken just now or not?
Oh, Jeremy, you don't get it, do you? We've hardly got a penny to our names. That coin felt as heavy to me as a bar of gold.
Eh?
I'm telling you, the moment it left my pocket, I knew. I felt myself get a good few pounds lighter.
Ah!
Yup, that coin's got my blood, sweat, and tears all over it.
What's the matter with you, eh, Mr. Nardo?
Huh? Me? Sorry, I just got the popcorn here.
When a lady's in trouble, it sure ain't supposed to be that help. Straight away, not now later.
This isn't my fault. I haven't stolen anything.
And what about you, eh, Holmes? I thought you were supposed to be a great detective.
Damn me, Mrs. Trott.
Hello.
You took your time getting around to me, didn't you? I thought that long dispute was never going to end.
Wordplay. You only said give us a minute when we spotted you over the road and said hello. And that was 10 minutes ago, Ginny. You've just been standing here listening to you quarrel with this Bobby.
Do beg your pardon, madam. We shouldn't be troubling public or police business.
But that shilling belongs to us, doesn't it, Rolly?
Oh, you're goddamn right it does. Of course it does, my love. It's just for you and me, my darling. I can buy us 3 croissants with that.
It's just supposed to be a nice stroll with Iris and Mr. Holmes for afternoon tea. Might have to run into another fiasco on Briar Road. And let me see how we could be of any help, Gina. There's no way of knowing who the coin really belongs to if it was just dropped in the gutter.
I wouldn't be so sure of that, Ryu.
What?
Fingerprints. I'm feeling I might know the answer to the question of whose coin that is.
Ah, my bright young fellow lodger. Let us hear your deduction.
Well, there's actually a reason why I suggested to stroll down Briar Road.
Oh, what reason?
You see, I was here yesterday and, well, I dropped a little something, so I wanted to come and look for it while enjoying an afternoon stroll.
Wait, you dropped something? You don't mean...
It was the pocket money that Holmesy gave me.
What's this, Iris? You dropped that, did you?
I'm sorry. I went to the market on Lime Street yesterday to pick up some herbs, you see. But on the way, I must have dropped it. The 1 shilling coin you gave me.
Oh.
A 1 bob bit? Yes, and when I thought back over the route I took, I realised I must have dropped it here. Constable, you haven't seen it, have you? It's all my pocket money, and now it's gone.
Oh God, yeah, why you gotta have a face like that? Well, I'm afraid I don't know anything about that young lady.
What rotten luck dropping your money like that. Sorry.
I dare say the constable's companion could give you a run for your money with their wide eyes. If it's all the same to you, Mr. Holmes, I think I'd prefer not to be used as the yardstick for looking guilty.
Well, it's tough really, innit, Iris? He dropped it, so it ain't yours no more. Anyway, you know what they say, what goes around comes around, so don't feel bad.
Bad luck, Iris. Doesn't look like you're gonna get your coin back.
Oh, can't believe I've lost it. The straight Dr. Holmes gave it to me as well.
Yes, regrettably indeed. I seem to recall that particular coin was rather significant. What do you mean significant?
Passed down generations. To be specific, it was especially significant to you, Ryu.
Significant to me? You don't mean it was the coin from last night's wager? The very same, my dear fellow.
What's this in? What wager? The fuck's going on? It was a game of poker. A duel between Holmesy and Ryu. Poker? What? That tricky card game, you mean?
As a lawyer, I have the perfect poker face. You'll never be able to tell what I'm thinking, he said. But deprive Mr. Knighthood of his entire fortune was even easier than finding that missing thoroughbred. It was so infuriating relieving, and now it still makes me grit my teeth. Sorry, I had every intention of paying you back with the money I owe you.
He's getting more
but
flashbacks.
you'll have to wait, I'm afraid.
Yes, I know. Don't worry. Next month is fine. Let me guess, I know. Your whole fortune.
It was 1 whole shilling, my entire monthly stipend, and I lost all of it. As I handed over to Mr. Holmes, I gritted my teeth so hard my gums started to bleed.
Oh my god. Please, Ryu, don't exaggerate. It's a horrible image.
I've got the tissue still.
Ugh. What about a lawyer who borrows money from a 10-year-old girl? Now that's a horrible image.
I don't feel like my reputation in this couple has just fallen through the floor. A few things more invigorating than taking a man, that's all he's worth.
Don't be so pleased with yourself, Holmesy. It's not as if Ryu ever had a chance of winning.
Wait, what? What do you mean by that?
Well, using that special ink I developed, anyone could...
Thank you, Iris. That will do. I'm sure this conversation has proven very dull for everyone. We're going to move on and go home now. What's done is done. The game is over now. There's no point in crying over spilled milk.
Special ink, you say? Well, that sounds like sort of risky business right up my alley.
Oh, Rolly, I love your dauntless spirit. You laugh in the face of danger. Come on then, Iris, spill it. What's your special ink about, eh?
Oh God, no, don't do it.
Ah, well, it's what's sometimes called invisible ink. All you have to do is write the suit and number on the reverse side of every card. And with the aid of some special glasses, the whole game is laid bare to you.
Wait, you were wearing glasses last night, weren't you, Mr. Holmes? No, I don't remember wearing glasses at all.
His goggles.
I don't remember any of this. Uses along the lines of, my eyesight appears to have suddenly worsened. And the only fit to question that is odd was the moment I knew I'd won the game.
Yep.
Mind games, was it? Trying to throw me off with your eccentric ways?
That's actually kind of smart.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, it's just Sherlock being Sherlock.
Yeah.
So you're telling me Holmes could see every card what I had?
What? But that's not mind games, that's blatant cheating.
It's both.
My dear fellow, what an accusation. Would you honestly consider me a cheat? Please, I prefer trickster. Whatever you call it, the game doesn't count now. Understand, Mr. Holmes? Dear me. Well, out of respect for the bad grace of which you take defeat, allow me to return your shilling. Did you hear that, Gina? So give it here.
Eh? Leave me out of this. This here 1 bob bit was mine from the start, no question. Haven't you seen my animations? I have it with me
sir.
all the time.
That 1 bob bill was zipping from this here Bobby's back pocket only a few minutes ago.
So, you keep saying, come on then, where's the evidence?
Huh?
The law, right, is all about evidence. I know my stuff.
You see, Mr. Nahodo, you used to try to excuse in court and others would parrot it.
Oh my god.
Only whenever I do say that in court, it is as I try to it isn't as I try to excuse, you know.
Trait.
As I say, sir, that coin got my blood, sweat, and tears all over it.
That's right, it has. Well, these blood, sweat, and tears are the evidence. It's just covered and it's disgusting. Blood, you say? In that case, it's time for this.
What? Do you think?
Well, if there's any trace of blood on that coin, we'll soon know about it. All right, Ginny. Hold very still. Eh, what?
Boof.
Ah!
Oh, man. Look at that. See that on the coin? It's clearly changed color. In other words, there's blood on this coin.
Once again, as I said, sir, that'll be my blood, sweat, and tears.
Oh, wait. I've seen blood turn that colour before. Yes, I know whose it is. I know whose coin it is. What? The rightful owner of this blood-stained shilling is... Ryu!
Huh? Me? From the appearance of that blood, it would say it is quite fresh. Left within the last 24 hours. Within the last... then in that case...
So, this is the coin what Holmes had order last night in the poker game? Ryu, do you mean you really did make your gums bleed?
I told you I was so infuriated to lose, I had to grit my teeth as I handed over the money.
Blimey. You're as hard up as me by the sound of it. But I thought you had a proper job.
Come on, Gina, just hand it over, would you? The shilling, that's rightfully mine.
Ugh, fine, alright then. Just stop your bleeding staring.
Well, I stopped the bleeding, but not the staring. I finally have it back. It's like a dream come true. Money.
I nearly had that one in the bag and all. That's wonderful news, Ryu. I'm so happy for you. And then please wash it, as you promised. I'd like my money back, please. The shilling I lent you before.
Oh.
You did say that you pay it back out of this month's pocket money, didn't you?
Oh. Yeah. Well, then I suppose.
Oh.
Goodbye, riches. My dear fellow, do be kind to your gums.
Looks like that show is always destined to be taken from you, sir.
For some reason, the phrase serves you right is floating around in my head.
What? So, Iris, as promised, here is the shilling I owe you.
Oh, you're repaying me already? Well, thank you. Next month would have been fine, though.
You told me to give it to you.
What's it all about anyway? What are you lending all your money for? Oh, yes, well, actually, it's because I went to Lime Street Market yesterday to buy herbs. For you. Herbs for Otto.
Yes, the tiramisu left behind is top quality Gyokuro tea,
Gyokuro.
but it's just so bitter. So when Iris suggested mixing with some herbs to make it more palatable, I asked her to go buy me some.
That's right. We've made a special Japanese herbal tea with the leftover Gyokuro. Going to call it Susie's Special Blend. I do hope you'll try it.
The excruciating bitterness clings to the throat. He can persuade the bright green gloop to leave the cup. Why, sounds quite delicious.
Huh? Yeah, right.
Oh, goodness, guys.
You like bitter tea, Sherlock?
He ate soap.
Yeah.
I want to pay that shilling's brief adventures are now at an end. Adventures? I must agree, my dear fellow, that coin has made the considerable journey since last night. Let's see, originally, it was the coin I was supposed to give to Iris to pay her for the herbs. Then in our poker duel last night, it passed to you, Mr. Holmes.
You gave it to Iris as spending money, but then I dropped it here sometime yesterday. And my beloved Rolly found it a little while ago and picked it up.
For it was lifted from my pocket by this here diver.
I then used my favourite gun to show up the blood that was on it. And let slip out Holmes' little scam in his card game last night.
The unknown which was the coin returned to the ownership of Mr. Nahoda, allowing me to pay Iris the money I owed her after all. But the herb she'd bought in order to make Susie's special blend tea.
And now, after all that, the coin is resting safely in my pocket.
My God.
That's really complicated.
Of course.
Bloody hell. Yeah, you're right. That was an adventure. What are we supposed to take away from it, eh?
That this one shilling coin belongs to Iris and Iris alone, I think. I can unfold your observation, Mr. Nahoda.
Well, you know what they say. What goes around comes around.
Why do I get the feeling that Iris knew it was coming around for her from the very beginning? Priceless, as they say. Well then, my dear fellow, how about this evening we indulge some bitter tea at the bitter rematch? I'll even allow you to stake the coming month's spending money in advance.
Oh my God.
I fold.
Just, we're not even playing, just no.
I know your ways now, sir. You cheat.
God.
And now, we move on to the final one.
Oh boy.
In the Bailey.
Hello.
This escapade takes place in the Old Bailey courtroom where the defendant is none other than Holmes himself, and the charge is a most mysterious murder.
What?
Renosuke naturally advocates for the defense against the unflappable Reaper, Lord Van Zeeks, but Holmes' testimony calls the true culprit of the crime into question.
Sherlock's being tried for murder?
This sounds like a great finale.
You've been doing a lot of voice acting.
Oh, it's fine.
Oh my God.
Don't even know when this happens.
I never thought I'd see this in my life. What? Gregson say? This court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Sherlock Holmes. I never thought I'd ever say that. This is a most extraordinary case of murder. Counsels, I assume I may proceed?
Yes, my lord. The defense is ready.
He did it. He finally snapped. No.
At your discretion, my lord.
Very well. I hereby call on the prosecution to introduce the case.
The incident in question took place 2 days ago late at night when the ground was blanketed with snow. The location of the incident was the residence of the accused, Mr. Sherlock Holmes.
Indeed, the now famous address of number 221B Baker Street, was it?
221B?
Yes, I like reading numbers weirdly.
The address may have enjoyed fame once, my lord, but will henceforth endure infamy for his grim crime.
It's fun to make the judges say dumb things, okay?
Yes, sir. Well put. The victim of Madame Rose was found asphyxiated in the accused sofa.
My word!
But it's unclear as to whether the victim was actually killed in the defendant's suite or not. After all, when Mr. Holmes left for the room only a brief moment, Madame Rose somehow vanished herself out of the room completely.
Why do you keep saying Rose? It's Rosie. Vanished herself, counsel? The victim?
Because I thought it was, the...
But it's Rosie. Rosie.
I guess. Fuck. Quite true, my lord. There's but one adjoining door between my drawing room and kitchen. Yet having brewed some tea in the kitchen, returned to find the room completely empty.
There was nobody else present?
Ordinarily, my fellow lodger Iris would have been at home. However, on the day in question, she had been invited to a meeting of the Scientific Society in the city.
I'm afraid you have a propensity for exaggeration, sir. You claim the victim vanished herself, but really, it all seems to me entirely plausible that she chose to leave via the main entrance to your suite.
As it happens, my lord, the door to the accused room was locked at the time, from the inside. Very true, Inspector. As such, I can say with considerable surety that the victim did not leave via my front door. But what about, yes, she could have snuck out through the window.
Objection!
That was such an angry objection.
The windows in the room are not locked, it's true, and the victim had the opportunity. However, I would always stow all around the building outside, and not a patch would have been disturbed.
Dude, Van Ziex's objection sounds like someone who's just like, it translates to just like, wow, you're stupid.
Exactly.
That's what the tone is.
Would my learned friend care to explain how the victim could have left without leaving a trail?
So the victim, Madame Rosie, somehow vanished from the scene before she was killed.
Naturally, I was alarmed by the sudden disappearance of my guest. So I summoned this gentleman, who resided in the attic room above my own, and we took a cab to Scotland Yard. I can confirm that the defendant called for me and I saw his suite on my way downstairs. And yes, I'm quite sure it was empty, just as Mr. Holmes has said. When we reached the yard, this very detective happened to be there.
Meh.
Well, yes, you see, I was just in my office for a while, haven't got back from some, important business that you don't even know about. And then, having explained the situation to the inspector, we traveled back to Baker Street together. At that time, there were no footprints in the snow around the building other than the ones we'd made.
Do I take it then, counsel, you personally witnessed the scene where the incident took place?
No, my lord, I went straight up to bed on my own room in the attic. Inspector Gregson, however, was met with the most blood-curdling sight. Mr. Holmes' sofa, the vanished Madame Rosie, motionless.
So the victim was already dead when you discovered her, Inspector?
No, my lord, not dead, but not far off it. She must have all remaining strength to say these dying words. That brother, Holmes, will be the death of me. Yes, I heard that remark at the time too. Delivered in a rasping voice full of malice. No! Those was indeed proved to be her last, and the victim expired moments later there on the sofa. The cause of death was identified as damage to the respiratory tract as a result of strangulation. Pray, does the accused dare to contest the inspector's account? Certainly not. In fact, the inspector's done an unusually fine job of summarizing the salient points.
Holmes will be the death of me. Damning, departing words indeed.
In her final moments, the victim named her killer. You, Mr. Sherlock Holmes. But the defendant had no reason to take the victim's life.
This is like a fever dream.
Yeah. Perhaps you can tell the court, Mr. Holmes, who exactly this Madame Rosie is. Or was, actually. Yes, of course. Didn't ever mention her to you? I'd extend an invitation to her that evening. Though she is
Loquacious, I think.
loquacious in the extreme.
Or loquacious.
Those trivial matters quickly became a quarrel. I was only too pleased to leave her presence to make tea. Great. It would appear then that the accused did in fact have a motive for silencing his erratic guest permanently. Putting that tenacious motive aside.
Tenuous
motive aside, what about the other mysteries surrounding the case?
I'm inclined to agree with the defense. There remain a number of inscrutable details. The victim's alleged disappearance and subsequent reappearance, leaving no trail of footprints, for example.
That's right, the crime described by the prosecution could never have happened. Yet the victim named the accused in her dying breath. It seems to me that my learned friend has overlooked a significant detail here. Nonsense! What have I overlooked? The man in the dock, the so-called great detective, all too freely makes this following bold claim. There's no crime beyond the realms of possibility, no mystery beyond my powers of reasoning. So, Mr. Holmes, you will have no difficulty in explaining how the crime thus described could have taken place. Therefore, I propose a toast to the great detective upholding his name. But of course, I had to put my mind to the matter. The crime would immediately appear odd while present to be entirely feasible.
Please, Mr. Holmes, whose side are you on? I'm defending you. All you need to say is, no, even I can't think of a way that a crime like that could have ever been committed.
That'd be hurting his pride.
But the accused
And
and
Barrack knows that.
Yeah.
He set him up. Mind games.
Though a crime may appear impossible to us mortals of inferior mental capacity, this man alone.
He's using the Blackwell power of suggestion thing going on.
claims to know exactly how it was done.
Now hold on, that's a very fragile argument.
Thank you, councillors. I believe I've heard more than enough to proceed to my adjudication. The accused great detective did, in some inscrutable manner, willfully murder the victim, Madame Rosie. Therefore find the defendant guilty.
Oh. Sorry, Holmes.
This man be taken from this courtroom and in some equally inscrutable manner be sanctioned for his crimes. Court is adjourned.
Oh. Bye, Holmes. Oh, well, that's kind of a little late to say hold it. My lord, please. The truth about the mystery surrounding this case are known to another besides the great detective. What's this? Upon my words, Mr. Nyhutter, you are coming along wonderfully. You've deduced a fundamental truth about this case, I believe. Which would be, detective, the truth of this case is known. Only to the true culprit, obviously. Is that not so, Gregson?
Well, I suppose, yes,
You don't mean, are you suggesting, Mr. Holmes, that you have an idea as to what actually happened that night?
What is going on?
An idea?
My dear fellow.
I can explain it and it from start to finish with not a single detail omitted.
objection.
It seems the detective has failed to grasp the situation. Pray, Mr. Reaper, which of us has truly failed to grasp the situation, I wonder? Then answer me this. You claim that prior to the incident, the victim suddenly vanished without a trace from your room. If so, how exactly did Madame Rosie disappear? Why, naturally via the window. It was ajar after all.
But that can't be. It was a window, not a jar. Jars have lids.
Oh my
But
god.
the room is a whole story above street level, and anyway, no prints are found in the snow.
That means the number of ways one can avoid leaving tracks in the snow, surely.
Such as?
Such as flying, for instance.
Oh my god.
A fatuous notion. And to where do you propose the victim flew, Mr. Holmes? It's not entirely plain. To the culprit's abode, of course. For having left my suite, that is clearly where Madame Rosie was murdered. Take a moment to consider the cruel irony, if you will. By her own volition, she flew directly to her death.
Objection.
He's having fun.
Do you forget, detective, the victim's corpse was discovered in your own sofa? No doubt because her killer carried her back there. But what about the lack of footprints in the snow again, then? There just weren't any. Other than our own from when we returned home ourselves. If by all footprints you refer to our own and mine, you're quite right. But there were those of another. On the night in question, there was one other person who could have conveyed the victim to my sofa. What?
Good gracious! To whom do you refer, sir?
A man whose somewhat unavailing presence at the scene of the crime would be questioned by no one.
Unavailing? You don't mean...
Indeed I do. A man who hastened to the scene directly upon learning the incident at Scotland Yard. Namely... you, Inspector Gregson.
No.
What was that noise?
You're not mad just on Baker Street. You were carrying a half-dead Madame Rosé with you. You waited for a suitable opportunity, and then I laid the victim on my sofa.
He did what?
Objection.
But we were with the inspector when he arrived. How could he possibly have been carrying the victim? We would have noticed.
My dear fellow, a most obvious answer presents itself, does it not? The inspector is rarely, if ever, without his overcoat. The victim was simply conveyed in one of his many pockets.
I
What the fuck? I fail to see what makes this detective great, but I can say one thing without great certainty. A human body cannot fit into the pocket of an overcoat. Well, I believe you may have all fallen foul of a rather significant misapprehension. What? Madame Rosie was not a human.
I beg your pardon?
Mr. Holmes?
Is he gonna say what I've been thinking this whole time?
Yes, Mr. Hoda, something troubles you, perhaps? Whatever gives you that idea? Exactly what sort of creature was Madame Rosie? Is it not apparent already? A parakeet, of course!
That's not what I was expecting.
Huh? Most self-conceit specimen, in fact.
A parakeet?
She was an incessant talker, I must say. The man was quite intolerable at times. Well, want to turn every conversation to a quarrel, I thought to strangle the creature on more than one occasion. You had a quarrel with a parakeet? But of course, why else would she have chosen to fly to my window so uncordially that evening?
Oh.
To the abode of the inspector here beside me, no less. To Inspector Gregson's abode? But why? Guess that was the parakeet's home, naturally. What are you? The inspector was called away from town for some days, so it was arranged that I would look after the bird. But it would appear that she was overcome with a sudden yearning for a keeper, thus prompting her flight from my comfortable suite to the inspector's office at Scotland Yard.
What?
Well, Gregson, I believe it's high time you explain.
What is going on?
Give us your account of what happened that night. Sparing no details, of course. Inspector Gregson, this is about a bird.
This is about a freaking parakeet.
It was an accident. I got back from being away that evening, you see. Just walked through the door of my office. And if I imagined Madame Rosie would be on her way back to the yacht as well. I slammed the door shut behind me, just as she was trying to fly through it.
So Madame Rosie...
She got sandwiched between the door and the frame and fell to the floor.
Oh, God.
Never to move again. Because of me.
That's so sad.
Well, I never.
I had to do something. And just when I was trying to think of a plan, you fellas were out talking about some accident at Baker Street. I had to hide Madame Rosie in a hurry. So I stuffed her in my coat pocket and got into the cab with a pair of you.
What could possibly motivate you to behave in such a manner, Inspector?
Lord Strongheart, sir.
What? Lord Strongheart? Please tell me I didn't hear that right.
What is happening?
That was the Lord Chief Justice who asked me to look after the bird in the first place. She'd been living with the pigeons for the Supreme Court until then. But apparently the, other birds had started to pick on her. So for the past 6 months or so, I've been caring for her in my office at the yard.
I see.
If anything happened to that bird, just imagine. No pay and no time off for the rest of my career. You mark my words, that's what's gonna happen.
Oh.
That's why well...
Pinned it on Sherlock.
But the victim's dying words, Inspector. You caught her earlier when Madame Rosie spoke the name of her assailant on her deathbed.
That rotter, Holmes, will be the death of me. Indeed she did. Quite uncalled for, wouldn't you agree? Those words are your true feelings, are they not, Inspector?
She copied him.
You speak of me often at your office at the yard. This disparaging manner. A manner that the merry parakeet took much delight in mimicking.
Oh my
But
God.
come on, have you read this month's edition of Rents Magazine? Oh, sorry.
Oh my God.
This is all absolutely true. I'm in court of a fucking parakeet.
Oh my God.
My God.
That all longer takes?
No. Nothing. Almost drifted off for a moment there.
want to drift off? When you've been kept waiting 3 hours already? What we managed to meet with Lord Strongheart at all today. We have to deliver the report on the Winterbank case, and he asked for another day.
You've never read his thoughts before.
Tell me, Inspector, what became of that bird? Madam Rosie, you mean? She had a narrow escape, but she's still alive. Delivered her back to her not long ago, actually, on Lord Strongheart's orders. Is that what the patrons will accept her now? It was something of a shock to hear that she'd been crushed in the doorway of your office. Especially as we were all under the misapprehension that Madam Rosie was a person. Sorry about that. It was Lord Strongheart's demand that...
Oh, wow.
And good, you're here.
Of course he would demand that someone be put on trial for killing his bird.
I apologize for my tardiness. I'm exactly 3 hours, 24 minutes, and 57 seconds late.
Oh, no, my lord. Oh, no, please don't trouble yourself. I think you've just got a person sitting here doing nothing for hours on end.
Wow.
Heartening.
One
So,
might
let's
say
hear it then.
strong heartening.
Your report.
Oh, there goes Rosie.
The Winterbank trial is concluded, but this is far from over. Seems that Doc Feist and Lawyer and I have some shared destiny. We will meet again, of that I have no doubt.
Oh, you have no
Have you
idea.
seen our antiques? Did you? Madame Rosie went flying off amongst the patrons there. Happy as Larry she was. Really, Inspector, you must be relieved.
It even followed the bit I did. I'm like, there she goes.
Holy
Oh
moly.
my god. I'm not surprised that Strongheart would hold a trial for a bird.
That was the best finale I could have ever asked for.
Oh my god.
That was... Well, that would be all the escapades that is there for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed all of them.
You couldn't think of what to say, so you just laughed.
I truly was astounded.
Did it just take a second to hit you? And then it all came crashing down at that once?
This was all amazing. I know that we have the things in the gallery over here. All the moving pictures, all this stuff.
Oh, yeah.
We can't do those in the stream because those have to do at the pace of the video.
Yeah.
So,
like, we can't...
we'll do it in a more
We
time.
can't, like, hit the button after we finish reading it. It goes on its own.
on its own. But I need to see this in my life, especially for 2017. So we'll figure that out one day for everyone.
Oh, the graphics difference. It's fascinating.
But until then, hopefully y'all enjoyed these wild escapades
As
with
much
our
as we did.
cast of characters here. We'll all see you next time.
The fact that really happened, though. This is all canon stuff.
I'll just hope that didn't count anywhere in anyone's trial records. Just the moment it became realized it was a bird, they're just like, let's just not count that one here, shall we?
Dude, just
This never happened. Erase it from the record.
His just what the fuck? That was great.